Okay, so I have the mic on. Can you guys hear me now? My husband is working my set, so I'm sideways. So I have a new setup with lighting and background. Now we can hear you great. I have a new setup with lighting and background and all that. Hey, Tamara. And so a lot of people have been talking about Little Fires Everywhere on Facebook and Instagram. And so, like I say, it's a book, and it went back out. Huh? Terrence. Okay, we can. Okay. But so I thought it would just be good for us to have an open discussion about it. So I have a couple of people that want to discuss it. This is gonna go on my YouTube page as well. So um, we're gonna discuss episodes. This is the first season, and we're gonna discuss episodes 1 through 3 today. Um, and I asked a couple people, do we just want to just do an overall review? Do we want to go piece by piece? And they was like, no, let's talk about 1 through 3. So I was like, okay, we can talk about 1 through 3. And so, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break down the characters, who they are, and their roles and what they're doing to get started. So we're going to give people a couple more seconds to get in to make sure that we're good. Those that inboxed me or chimed in and said I told you to write down your notes. We're going to take some Q&As and we're going to discuss it. And we're just going to see, because I really liked it. To be honest with you, it took me about 3 episodes to get interested, because I was like, I can't watch this. If something doesn't grab my attention right off the bat, I'll throw it away and be like, oh, it's not for me. So something kept telling me, Reese Witherspoon is an A-list actress. She's just not going to take anything. And then also, Kerry Washington, the girl is phenomenal. She's not going to take anything. So I was like, with those two together in one series, I said, wait a minute, let me give this a chance. This has to be great. It has to be. So let's start off with the characters. The characters are on Mia's side, which is Kerry Washington. Her character is Mia. She's a single mom with a daughter. Her daughter's name is Pearl. Also, a latter part of the show, you'll come into contact with a friend of hers, Pauline, and also her brother, Warren. She also has a friend named Bibi that she works with, and then she also has Maylene, which is the baby of the girl Bibi, and then you also have Joey, who is Pearl's real father. So that'll come later on. So I'm just giving you a lot of the characters. Now on Reese Witherspoon's side, you have Elena. Elena is her character. She's married to Bill. They have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. The oldest son is Trip. The second oldest is Moody. Then you have the oldest daughter, which is Lexi, and then the baby daughter, which is Izzy. And then there's a twist later on. She has a ex named Jamie that'll come into the other. What show is this? This is Little Fires Everywhere. This show is on Hulu, Amazon, where else? If you Google Little Fires Everywhere, it's pretty much going into reruns right now. So it's really, really good. So if anybody has watched it, please chime in with some questions. Let's talk about it. If you want to join in, request to join in on the screen. I'll bring you in. But it's really, really good. So let's go ahead and start talking about the first episode. Oh, that's my show. Yes, I love this show, and like I said, it took me about 3 episodes to really get into it, and then I was like, and then around that 3rd to 4th episode, I was like, okay, it's kicking in. But if you're at home, quarantine, you're sitting at home, and you're looking for someone, Izzy is my favorite character. She is mine as well. If you're looking for something to binge watch, Little Fires Everywhere. I promise you, Just make it through episode 3 and you will be hooked. Okay, so in episode 1, let's talk about the first impressions. The first impression, Elena. She's the main character. For her, it's 2 families, which is Elena and Mia. Okay, so for Elena's side, one of the first impressions that I got, and she rich, tell me how you feel about it. Elena, she's a white woman, upper class. She has the house, the car, the career, the husband, the 3.5 children. She's living the lifestyle that most middle class white women would like to live, and or privileged women would like to live. And so Elena, she's very bougie, she's privileged, she's condescending in a way that is not intentional, but she's aware of it. And that's very important, because a lot of times people treat you a certain way and try to act as if though, oh, I didn't know, I didn't mean it. But she's non-intentional, but she's aware. But she's pretty much what I expected her to be. So Elena, she's the backbone of her family, as always. She's the wife, she's the mother, she's the best friend, she's the socialite, she does all that. So Elena, well put together, perfect life, very entitled. Like I said, she's very condescending. She is not intentional in the things that she says or that she does, but she's aware of what she does. So also Mia. Now Mia, when she first came onto the scene, she's a single black mother with a teenage daughter. They're kind of living from place to place. They are all over the place. They're living out of a car. Later on, we'll talk about this car that they're in, because when I saw the car, I was like, where did she find this car from? But the car is very important to her as a person, and we'll talk about that later on. So her and her daughter have been living from place to place, which tells you that there's something going on with her. She's hiding something. She's running from something. When I first saw her, I said, yeah, she has a big secret. I wasn't sure what it was, but she was very intriguing. And when they introduced her, they didn't really just give a lot about who she was. She was just always on the offensive. She was very calculating in how she spoke and the things that she said, because she didn't want people to get a deeper insight into who she was. Right, I was shocked and still right. This car is probably 20 years old, and she is riding this car like it's a 2021. I mean, it's not smoking, it's not knocking to be funny. Hey Chris, how you doing? But it was funny because when you see the car, if you are watching it, you know what I'm talking about. But when you get into it, you see the car, you'll be, good Lord. I mean, this car has been through, so it's very funny. But she's still driving it. It's still doing what she needs it to do. And it's still holding up. So in episode 1, after they introduce both of them, they kind of get together. And Mia is looking for somewhere to stay. She runs into Elena. Elena has a rental property that was left by her parents. They're affluent. They had money, so they left something behind for them. Hint, hint. African Americans, we need to leave some type of legacy for our children via property, stocks, bonds, non-tangible items like cars and all that. No, we need to leave them real things that they can take and continue to profit off of years to come and generations to come. So she's looking for somewhere to stay. So her and her daughter, they run into Mia. Mia runs into Elena. And so pretty much she rents her a place to stay. And it was because of the daughter really wanting to settle down. Okay, House of Little Fires. No, Little Fires Everywhere. Little Fires Everywhere. Just Google it or go into your Netflix and say it. It'll pop up. So after that, Elena offers her a job as pretty much a maid in her house. Some people will probably say that was kind of stereotypical of a middle-class white woman asking a impoverished black woman to be her maid. Elena's thinking was, I'm trying to help her because I see she's in a bind and she needs work because Mia told her that she was an artist. And Elena kind of took it as a joke. She was like, "Oh, you're an artist. I thought you were like a non-serious artist." So it was like, how would you figure that this person is not taking what she does as serious as what you take as because Elena is a journalist, and we'll talk about the backstory behind that in a couple episodes to come. But she's a journalist, and she's also had her struggles. So, but it kind of resonates when you're talking to someone and they dim the light on who you are to make themselves look better. You know, it's like, okay, you're a reporter, you're a journalist, so okay, I get that, but don't down me because I'm an artist. You know, if that's what I do, if that's my living, if that's my business, my career, then that's what it is. Like being an artist isn't a real job. You're right. It's a real job. It's her career. It's her passion. It's what she loves to do. And then that's how she's surviving. Catch that tidbit. That's how she's surviving at this moment. So that's what she does. So it's not for anybody to take that from you to just say, oh, you're just an artist. Oh, I thought you were playing when you said, no, the lady is serious. She's an artist. Okay, I said the name wrong, but it was great. I got to watch season 2. Yes, they're not sure if they're going to do a season 2 because this is actually off of a book. And I'll come back next review and tell you the book. But I'll put it down in the comments. And there's not really a season 2. But the way that they left the cliffhanger, I'm sure with the ratings, with how people are talking about it, that they will come back, and they have to do a season 2 because it's just a cliffhanger. So so she works for Elena. Mia starts to work for Elena, and she's cooking, she's doing the maid things, you know, taking care of picking up after the kids. So it was funny because they're showing the two family dynamics as a black woman and a white woman, a lower class black woman and a middle class white woman, or upper class, because her husband is an attorney, she's a judge, so they have pretty good money. And the kids get involved. So Pearl becomes friends with Trip, Moody, Lexus, and Izzy because they all end up going to school together. And so they kind of become friends. Moody has a crush on Mia, but Mia doesn't necessarily have the same feelings back, but she likes him as a friend. So the family dynamic is really, because as children, they start to look at each parent and what each parent has to offer in that family. So you have Pearl, who is Mia's daughter, starting to look at Elena as, oh, she's well put together, she's stable, she's a good parent, and oh my God, this is the life. But then you have Trip and Izzy, who is my favorite as well. Izzy, who's looking at Mia as, wow, she cooks, she's here, she's taking care of us. I wish my mom was doing that. Wow, wow, wow. So it's really, the dynamic for the children kind of sets the tone for most of the storyline, because the kids have their own thing that they're dealing with as well as the two adults. So that's pretty much episode 1. They kind of, you know, intertwined. They're getting to know each other. Mia is very standoffish. She's very firm, but she's very sure of herself. Elena is very obnoxious at times, very entitled at times, just all over the place, wants to be the life of the party, and just, you know, she's being Elena. She is who she is. She's a middle-aged, upper class white woman, and you have Mia that's a, you know, lower income poor black woman. So the dynamic is very, very interesting. Okay, so let's move on to episode 2. And in these episodes, it's funny how they name the episodes, because you really don't understand the titles. And most of the titles, to me, don't portray pretty much what's going on. So it gets interesting in episode 2, where in episode 2, the ladies try to build a relationship. But I don't know if they are necessarily building a relationship as much as they are trying to pick apart each other. So what I mean by that, Elena is not really sure if she made the right decision in hiring in Mia. She doesn't know much about Mia. She's kind of leery of her. She's trying to get a reference on her. She's hitting a dead wall. And so she's like, I don't know about this girl. I think I moved too fast and letting her come in. So they're trying to pick each other apart. Mia is very certain in the moves that she's making. She knows that Elena is starting to not feel her a little bit, and she's starting to ask questions that Mia has to give answers for. But Mia is she's been doing this a very, very long time now. Mia has been doing this a very long time. So Mia is knowing, okay, I have to do a little bit more to get this lady off of my back. So the jealousy between both ladies starts to build, because there's a time where Mia is cooking dinner for Elena's family. She's making meatloaf. So the husband Bill comes in and said, are you using Ritz crackers and meatloaf? And she says, yes. He said, wow, I haven't had that in forever. And so she's taking on the wife role. She's like, well, that's the way my mom made it. And he said, my mom did too. So they had kind of like a connection. But while she's preparing the meatloaf, Pearl comes in. And Pearl is like, you're cooking for them? Pearl really feels as if though now at this point, I'm a little poor black kid. My mom is actually a maid, and she's taking care of them and cooking for them more than she's doing for me, that she's probably ever done for me, because they're always on the move. So Pearl has a feeling of like, wow, we're the help, as opposed to being equals. Because children don't like to feel like they're beneath some or left out of something. She's over there all the time. She hangs with them. They go to school together. They're doing all the partying together. But then she comes home and she sees her mom, a strong black mom, in the capacity of a maid. Right, you cooking for them and you don't do it for me. Exactly. And Pearl had this look of disdain, disbelief, and hurt upon her face, because she was like, man, you don't even do that for me. And that'll come to play again later on in the episodes. And so you can tell that it kind of did something for Pearl. It kind of took a piece of her away, like a mother and daughter type thing, where you go forward and they're at the dinner table actually eating the meatloaf, and Elena comes in. Elena is late. They have already pretty much started eating. And she was like, oh, there's something different in here. And then before they can even say anything, I think it was Lexi said, the meatloaf is great. Because now, Elena doesn't use crackers in her meatloaf. I think she uses breadcrumbs. So when you think about it, they've just been enduring the meatloaf. But now you have this woman that came in. She's cleaned your house, washed the clothes, cooked your meal, prepped everything. And then her family is raving over the meal that another woman has fixed for her. So she has a look of, wow, she has like egg on her face. She was like, is that good? And they're just raving about it. So it was funny. Okay, we have a question. Do y'all think Mia was wrong for telling the Chinese? Okay, we're coming to that. We are coming to that. That is coming up for episode 3. So come back in and we're going to ask that question again. So let's just move on past the table. And it's just, they're starting to have a not so good vibe with each other. So if we're on the outside looking in, it's kind of like they're switching places. It's kind of like Bill, the husband, Trip, Moody, Lexi, and Izzy is getting the wife and mom that they've always wanted. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's there. Meal is done. They have family time. It's great. And then you have Pearl that looks at Elena as the perfect mom. She's educated, she's beautiful, she works. To her, her children have the perfect life. But what always looks good on the surface does not necessarily mean that it's good on the surface, right? So after that, they have a book reading. So Elena, like I said, she's well versed and she's over a book club. So this episode, they're having the book club reading at her home, and so they're just talking about the woman's, private area and things to that effect. And so Mia is recognizing that Elena is not really feeling her. So Mia, being the person that she's been all these years, always on the run, always hiding, always trying to keep it together, always staying ahead of the other person, realizes I have to do something to get into her good graces. So at the book reading, Elena really didn't want to be there. She just plays the role of the prim and proper, but if she doesn't have to do it, she chooses not to. So she asked Mia to do the food prep and things like that. And she even said, I'll pay you if you even read the book for me. Not knowing, Mia, being as smart as she is, did just that. So when they had the open discussion about it, Mia spoke on Elena's behalf because the other ladies wasn't feeling what Elena was saying. So Mia just worded it, and it was funny because she even took Elena by surprise. And Elena was in awe of Mia. Because now, look, this is a well-versed, upper-class, white woman, middle age, and you have this poor black, how sometimes people just look at your circumstances and figure that's all you are. You're just poor, you're downtrodden, you don't have anything to offer. But Mia is very educated. We'll find that out later on, too. She's well-versed, she's well-traveled. Yes, she did. She's well-versed, she's well-traveled. And she knows how to blend in with any environment she's in. She's very good at being seen, but not being seen. She can move her, and we'll talk about that too later. She moves around a room. You don't notice she's there. You know she's there, but you don't notice she's there. So after she spoke on Elena's behalf, Elena was in awe with her. Oh, the relationship turned for a better, So both women trying to figure each other out. And when Mia did that at the book reading, Elena let her guard down, and Mia knew it. So I require all the women to examine some parts of their womanhood that they often overlook. That's what Mia said, because they were talking about the vaginal area. And Mia said, how many of you have ever even looked at your vagina? It was funny. And they were just sitting in the room all prim and proper. And one of the women was, she was a gynecologist. And she was all for it. She was like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. But all the other women had their wine glasses. They were just sitting back. Oh my God, I can't believe she said that. And when she said it, it lit a fire on her. Like, you could just see, like, instantly, she was like, I'm in love. She was like, I'm in love with Mia. Because Mia, she was able to express it and say what everybody else wanted to say. And at that moment, Mia knew, I think I have her. I think I got her. So, so pretty much after that, Elena did let her guard down. So Mia is feeling in a safe place right now, which can be dangerous because the type of person that Mia is, she's so used to being on guard all the time. I think she let her guard down a little too quick and a little too soon. It was amazing how they made the lady with no kids feel less valuable. Yes, because they were talking about how, that makes you a woman. Having, women, we talk about this all the time. What makes you a woman? Okay, let's hit on that real quick. What makes you a woman? Oh, I have kids. Does that make you a woman? There are a lot of women that can't have kids. They just can't bear their own children. But that does not make them less than a woman. But as women, we tend, regardless of the race, across the board, we tend to always find a way to put down another woman and what they're going through. It's not as important as what we're going through. So they did make her feel really, really bad. And it was just heartbreaking because you could see the heartbreak on her face, which that's Linda. Linda is Elena's friend. She is unable to have children, and so she has adopted a baby, Maylene, who is BB. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but I gave you the characters. BB is a Chinese, is a woman of Asian descent, because they didn't say what she was. So she's of Asian descent that works with Mia at the restaurant. And that's a little ahead of ourselves. She told her about her baby and things that was going on. So the lives are starting to intertwine even more, because Mia is going to realize that Linda actually is the one who has adopted or found and adopted BB's baby, Maylene. So like I said, we're getting a little ahead of each other, but so that's kind of how episode 2 ends. With Mia kind of feeling like she's on top, and I think she's letting her guard down a little too quick. And Elena actually let her guard down and is feeling herself, because it's funny, because as the episode ends, Elena is upstairs in the bathroom and she's giggling. She's like a little school girl. And then you're like, what is she doing? And then she has a mirror, because remember, Mia said, how many of you have ever even seen your own vagina? And it was so funny. She has a mirror upstairs looking at her vagina. And that goes to show that for the first time in her life, at age 30, 35, that was the first time she she looked at her own vagina. So it was funny, because that just showed how much Mia was able to manipulate her and to bring her over to her side a little bit. So that is very important, because remember, both of these ladies really are, this to me, y'all tell me, are they the same person? Just different skin colors, just different. And we'll get into the economic part of it later, because remember, Mia is a lower class, poor black woman, and Elena is a upper class, middle-aged white woman. So remember that. So moving on to episode 3. We get into Maylene's story. So like we said, you have Mia. She works at a restaurant. She meets a young lady by the name of Maylene. Maylene's story is very heartbreaking. And they show Maylene's story where she was pregnant. She had her baby and she was poor. She could not feed her baby and she needed formula for her baby. She went to the store and let me see. Yep, they both got messed up ways to me. They both do. To me, they're kind of like the same person with different, with the same life experience. We're gonna get deeper into that as the episodes progress, but it's gonna get very interesting. If you guys just stick it out past episode 3, 4, and 5, you won't be disappointed. I promise you. So Maylene couldn't feed her baby. She went to the store. She didn't have enough for milk. The woman at the store was unsympathetic to her and told her, if you wanted your baby to eat, then get a job. I mean, it was just heart-wrenching. I was like, dang, the baby needs milk. You could take the money out of your... If it had been me, you come into the store and your baby's starving, you crying, the baby hasn't eaten in days, I'm going to give you what I got out of my pocket and make sure, or I'm going to do what needs to be done. Take it out of my pay. I had to help this lady get some milk. So because Maylene could not, BB could not feed her baby, she took her baby and left her baby outside of a fire station. Now, later part on in the episodes, what I miss, I'm on. Deborah, we are on episode 3. We're talking about Maylene's storyline and how she had to leave her baby in the dead of winter outside of the fire station. They leave it there because later on in the episodes, we get clarity on actually what happened with the baby. So they go from there, and they're talking about Lexi. At the table, Lexi, in the past episode, Lexi was talking about getting into her college of her dreams, and they have to write these essays. I'm sure a lot of you know you have to write an essay to get in, like Harvard, Duke, Yale, different schools like that, the affluent schools. And so she was going to write an essay on, what was it on, guys? Like a play, because you have to write about a hardship. What does a young white girl living in a $500,000 house, both parents in the house, one's a lawyer, one's a journalist, living the best life, goes to the best school, wears the finest clothes, what struggle does she have? And keep this in mind, because it's going to come into play later on. Right, she's so, we get into that, Deborah. We get into that because that comes later, where Pearl had to do a story as well for a class, and we're going to find out what happens to that story. So continuing on in episode 3, Lexi's essay, she's talking about she has to write an essay. They don't get into it right then. So she's talking to her boyfriend pretty much about the essay and just different things. You know, her boyfriend is African American. He comes over. He meets Pearl for the first time. You would think they would connect on a socialism level, like, I'm black, you're black, hey, hey, hey. You know, we got these white friends. But they kind of didn't vibe together. So, which was kind of weird. But I think it's because Pearl is just guarded. She's been guarded for most of her life. And so I think that she, like her mom, has learned to tread very lightly with who she is, about giving up information, about making friends. Because know that these people have been on the road all of this girl's life. She even says, I'm tired of moving. Mom, when they first saw that apartment, it was just heartbreaking, because she was like, I can have my own room. My own room. And that was a lot for this young girl that has been living, but they don't. Right. That has been living out of a car most of her life. So, so they move forward. They're at the dinner table and they're talking about black issues. And this was very funny because I've been in some of these conversations. They were talking about the Million Woman March, because Izzy, yes, because of how she was conceived, yes. So Izzy, which is the fan favorite, I think, at this point, is she is about doing everything right. She wants hardships to be mended. She's not prejudiced. She's not biased, but she doesn't know how to express it. So they were talking about having a Million Woman March or something. And so the funny part about it was that Lexi's boyfriend brought up, well, it's for black women, you know, like the Million Man March. And it was like, well, I think it should be for everybody. Izzy is gay and she doesn't like her mom. Man, she does not like her mom. Oh my God. Their relationship is going to go from bad to worse really, really fast. And that was the crazy part, her whole life in the car. Exactly. And the girl just wanted a bedroom. So they kind of pushed her mom into settling down into this town, because I think her mom wanted to kind of still push through. I think she wanted to maybe stop over, rest up. That's why, because her mom said, I need a month-to-month lease. Because I don't think they stay anywhere more than maybe 3 to 6 months. So that baby was really needing to have somewhere to call her own. So when they were talking about views that affect black people, that affect white people, it was really funny, the dynamic, because you had Lexi's boyfriend that's black, and then you have Pearl who's black, and then you have the other family, and then you have Elena chiming in as if she's all knowing of all black issues. And we've all been there, where we're sitting at a table or an event and black issues come up, and then just say like the hair, you know, I don't see what the problem is with you guys' hair. I would love to have you guys' hair. No, you wouldn't. Y'all don't want our hair. Get over it. Y'all wouldn't want to be in our, you wouldn't want to be black. You don't do it. The conversation, don't do it. So that's kind of like how the conversation at the table was. And you can see in Lexi's boyfriend's face with the conversation, he felt kind of defeated. He was like, you know what? Let me just leave it alone because y'all not gonna get it. And we've all been there just like, so we don't get into an argument about this. So my girlfriend ain't mad at me. Her rich white parents ain't mad at me. I'm not the bad guy. We're gonna let it go. So after they leave the dinner table, they're talking. And Elena lets it out about her best friend, Linda, and the baby, Maylene, who she's adopted. She's ordering some cookies. Like, the world is going to end because the cookie lady didn't get the cookies. So it was like, her husband came in. She was like, oh my God, Bill, the cookies aren't ready. It was like, cookies? You know, our issues are not theirs. And that's just so funny to me because you had Mia sitting at the table like, me and my daughter living out a car, and you in here stressed out about some cookies for a baby shower. It was a baby shower introducing Maylene, the baby of Asian descent, to the community and all of Linda's friends. And since Elena was her best friend, she was hosting some of the party, doing the cookies and stuff like that. So the cookies didn't come through. But in that conversation, Mia finds out that Linda has BB's baby because Elena told her about the story about how she was like, what type of mother would leave her baby in the cold? If you don't want to be a mother, then don't have a baby. Now remember that comment because in the latter part of this season, that's gonna come back and bite Elena in the butt for real. So it was like, Mia was like, ding, 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 ding. So she was asking questions like, okay, hold on. So are you saying, and so she's like, yeah, this girl, she left her baby. They're adopting the baby. It's final, and we're going to celebrate the baby. So like I said, one thing about Mia is she's very calculating. She was able to get in this party, be at this party, but not be at this party. She's good at being seen, but not seen. She was taking pictures. And she was like, I just want to document this moment for her. But really what she's doing is she's taking pictures of the baby, of the house, different avenues, different things going on. And so let's open up the discussion. Absolutely. Which will explain her relationship to Izzy. It sure will, because you said if you don't want to be a mother, then don't have the baby. Now, coming up in about 4 more episodes, that's going to bite Elena in the ass, just to be honest with you. So, let's ask some questions, guys. Little fires everywhere for everybody that's tuning in. We're doing a review, episodes 1 through 3, season 1. Do you guys think that Mia should have told Maylene about that baby? What do you guys think? Because telling Maylene about that baby opened up a whole nother can of words. So, Tarashus Tyson said, yup. So you think that she should have told her about that baby? Why? Why should she have told the girl about that baby? I'm wondering, because in Mia's position, you got secrets of your own that you can't afford for nobody to find out. And note that Mia keeps having these dreams about this guy. He's in a trench coat. When I first saw him, I was like, that guy's a police officer. And he's always following her on the subway or almost ready to grab her. And I said, she's hiding something. I said, she's hiding something, and that's why she's on the run. No, I said, no. Okay, no. She should not have told her. I'm like this. If I got skeletons in my closet and I'm on the run, I ain't getting in nobody else's business. I ain't got time. No, because it's irrelevant at this point. Right. I ain't got time to be trying to help somebody else's situation with my own situation jacked up. Now, you already having nightmares. You can't sleep. You in a 1953 I don't even know what is that car, Chevette? I don't even know, a hatchback. You got everything that you own in this car, including your child. I think Mia should have been grateful. she should have been grateful too. One, because Elena really did do her a favor. Because see, at the first part, we didn't talk about this. She was parked in a parking lot, like at a park or something. And Elena was out somewhere and she saw the car parked. And so she called the local police, which she has a good relationship with. And they went and checked on her. And her daughter was asleep in the car. And, you know, all that. So that's how their worlds kind of start to intertwine. But she gave her the house at a discount. You know, she opened up her doors. And like I said, Elena is condescending. She offered her the job as the maid, thinking she was doing her a favor. Why a maid? Maybe Elena thought that was guilt looking her. That was guilt kicking her butt. It was. I think Elena felt like, let me help you out. And thinking that she was maybe poor, uneducated, or something like that, she couldn't get her a job where she was working at the paper. So the next best thing would be a maid. Even her husband said, why would you offer this lady a job as a maid? That's degrading. He was like, that's racist, really. And she was like, no, would it have been more racist if I didn't offer a job as a maid? And it was like, you know, so I really feel like Elena and her affluentness, her upper, you know, whiteness, didn't intend to hurt, but that's the best she had to offer at the time. I can give you a place to stay, $300 a month. You cut the grass, and you can work for me and get some extra money because remember, you're just an artist. I don't know. Right. So, I think she should have kept that secret to herself because personally, I got enough going on with me and my own. I ain't got time. I don't need nobody knocking on my doors, asking me no questions about me and mine. So, she should have left that alone. So, moving on, Pearl kind of got upset and wanted to know a little bit about her life because Pearl feels like at this point in my life, I need to know about my grandparents. I need to know about my daddy. I need to know about where I come from, who I belong to, you know, where I'm going. I'm just in this world, around here, lost, riding around in a car. So, I'm like, the poor baby is just out here in the world. So, of course, Mia being who she is, went back over, you're mine. I had you. You're my child. That's all you need to know. Your dad didn't want you. My parents, you know about them. You know, she's just blowing the girl off. And the girl is starting, she's a teenager. She has questions. She wants to know who she is, where she's coming from, and, you know, where she's going. So, everybody's getting ready for the prom or the dance. And they are looking beautiful. The kids are getting dressed. Both daughters in this scene kind of connect with their mothers. Now, Pearl looks at Elena as the ideal mother because she's a working mom. She has it going on. She's well put together. And Izzy, who's kind of like the black sheep of the family, she doesn't fit in because Izzy is gay. Her dad knows, because go back to the party. Elena, in all her righteousness, talks to a fellow friend at the party, and she goes off on her about her daughter. And then the lady had to put Elena in check, was like, how are you going to come at me about my daughter when your daughter did what she did? And she was like, what do you mean? They had a party. They dared Lizzie to kiss a girl and all this, and then she got caught up. And Elena was horrified. She was upset. She went to Bill. Bill already knew. He figured that she was a lesbian. It didn't really bother him. He just knew his daughter was different and he wanted to love her. But Elena, being who she is and the image she has to uphold, was just irate about it. So Izzy clings to Mia because Mia is more of the type of mom that she needs her to be. She needs to have a mom that's free thinking, that accepts her for who she is, that does not criticize every little thing, even her hair, down to the shoes that she wears, even to the clothes on her back, because her and her sister are totally different. Her sister is every bit of Elena. She's bougie. She wants the best of everything. She wears the name brand. Izzy is just like, no, I want everybody to be happy. I want world peace. I want all puppies to be raised and given to little kids and everybody. This is who Izzy is. So this was a chance. The mothers were doing the hair. They were doing the girls' makeups, and everybody connected. Pearl connected with Mia to a degree, and Izzy connected to her mom to a degree, and I just really think that it was nice. So they're at the baby's party, and yeah, I think Mia was wrong. You know, I just really feel like Mia overstepped her boundaries. I think she did too much too soon. I don't think I would have told that girl where that baby was, who had the baby, you know, the people's address. That was too much. Mia, you was doing too much. You was doing too much. I just don't think she should have did that. And that just opened up a whole new can of worms. Because what it did was kick Elena's thought process up a little further. She's like, now I'm in protection mode. I have to protect my friend. My friend just got this baby, it's been adopted, and now this lady has showed up to be the baby's mother. And how did she find us? And it was crazy. So they're at the party, they're at the prom, and everybody's kind of feeling the peer pressure of a lot of things. Pearl, you know, Moody likes Pearl. Pearl doesn't really like Moody like that, but when Trip sees Pearl all dialed up, he's like, oh my God, you're beautiful. And she was like, okay. So you could see the connection was there. So it was, and then you could tell Moody was kind of like, he saw it and he kind of felt it. So Izzy was dancing with a guy, and the other girls were watching her because now that they know that she's gay. And she had this boy she moved the boy's hand down to her butt. And so Pearl was like, no, Izzy. And then her brother Moody came over and was like, you don't have to prove anything. And she was like, you're not in my shoes. You know, I do have to prove some stuff. I do have to, you know, get people off my back because this stuff is heartbreaking. Those are just tuning in. We're talking about Little Fires Everywhere. It's on Hulu. It's on Netflix. We're doing season 1, episode 1 through 3. So if you guys want to binge watch something, this is a great binge watch series. So then you have the peer pressure from the other kids. You have Lexi, the oldest daughter of Elena, and her boyfriend getting ready to go to the next step. And of course, being prom night, we know how that goes. We all were there. And she, you know, he gets on her about not being there for him. You know, he's feeling the whole thing of being black with the white girl. She's like, yeah, you'll leave me, go off and play sports. I'll be at school. You'll forget about me. It's just all these emotions running around for young kids, and they have sex. So keep watching. That's going to get very, very complicated. So, towards the end, Elena, she finally finds out about Mia and Maylene. She finds out she's a journalist. In her little small town, she knows everybody. She knows the chief of police. She knows all the reporters. She knows all the investigators. Everything she needs to know, she can get her hands on readily. So she found out where the young lady, BB, works. When she walks into BB's place of where she works, guess who she sees? Mia, standing at the cash register with egg on her face. So that's pretty much where it left off, guys. It was the first 3 episodes, like I said, was a lot. They're pretty much characters getting to know each other. I think they did a good job of portraying who each character is. Like I said, Elena, you know, my first impression of her, she's the average middle-aged rich white woman. You know, she's entitled. She, you know, it is what it is. Her husband, Bill, is an attorney. He's just going with the flow. You know, Trip, he's the oldest son. He's kind of like the wild card. Moody, he's the second son. He's kind of shy, laid back. He likes Pearl a whole lot, but Pearl doesn't necessarily, you know, have the same feelings. Lexi, she's the bougie daughter. She's just like her mom. And Izzy is the out-of-place daughter. She's gay. She's dealing with things. She's dealing with who she is, her sexuality, where does she want to go, where does she want to be, how does she fit in. Also, don't forget, later on, we're going to have Elena's ex, Jamie, is going to come into the picture. Mia, Kerry Washington, She's strong. She's independent. She's very intentional in her actions and the things that she does. She's very secretive. She's very good at blending in any atmosphere, any situation. So she knows how to continue the facade of what she's doing. A poor black woman, single mother, with a teenage daughter that's just trying to make it. Pearl, her daughter, she's just a teenager right now. She's trying to figure out who she is, where does she belong, who's her dad, who's her grandparents, where does she come from. Bibi, who is the mom of Asian descent, who has given up her child, Mei-Ling. Mei-Ling is the baby that Linda, which is Elena's, the main character, best friend, that adopted the baby. And then you have Joey, who is the man in Mia's dreams that keep haunting her, that is gonna be revealed later who he is. So you have to keep watching. So it's gonna be really interesting with Joey and Jamie. They're gonna come into play, I think episode 5, and it's gonna tell a lot of things are gonna tie together. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Little Fires everywhere. It's great. It's you guys need to just binge watch it. I'm gonna come back next week, and we're gonna talk about episodes 4 and 5, and we'll get a greater insight into Mia and where she comes from, and Elena, where she comes from. It's going to show us how they ended up where they are. And like I said, both women to me are a lot alike. And so just dealing with the dynamics of socialism, economics, what could have been, and that's going to come into play in these next few episodes. What could have been? What if I had made this choice instead of this choice? And both women are struggling with the same issue. What if? What if I had went left instead of going right? And I think we all, women, men, we can all relate to this, especially women. You know, life throws a lot of curveballs at us, and we often sit back and say, what if? What if I had went to school? What if I had waited before I got married? What if I had kept my baby instead of aborting or giving my baby up for adoption? What if I had still done all those things and went back to school? What if I got married, had my baby, had the life, and went back to school and had the career? What if? Or what if I just, you know, it's just what ifs. So that's coming up in the next few episodes. Those are the what if episodes, and it gives us a great insight into who they are. So we spent a pretty good amount of time on the reviews. Any questions? I'll stay up for about 30 seconds to see if anybody want to chime in. You can find it on Hulu. You can find it on Netflix. If you Google Little Fires Everywhere, I think you can find it on... There's another one where you can watch it for like $1.99, the whole episode, all the episodes. So if you want to binge watch all the episodes and then you come back in and we talk about it next week, you can. But I truly suggest, and I'm going to read the book just to see how close the book is to the actual series. And I'm just praying that they figure out a way to have a season 2, because the way it's played out, this is it. This is the end of the book. But there are so many unanswered questions, and there are so many more scenarios that we could go with. And they left us with a big cliffhanger. A big cliffhanger. So, guys, that's it. That's all I have for you. I want to thank you guys for watching. Tune in again. Also, like and subscribe to my YouTube page, Creative Concepts with a K, Kreative, Concepts, Koncepts. Also, you can go to my website, www.creativeconcepts. What's the book name? I'm going to put it in the description below, and you guys can either get the book online, or you can... I would love to do a book reading with you guys. If you guys want to get the book after we do the review of the series, and then we read the book chapter by chapter and sit down and discuss it, I would love to do that, because I think it's a little different in the book, but overall I think that it's pretty consistent. So, but I will find the book and I'll put it down in the description, the name of it, and let you guys know. But like I said, that's all I have. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys were great. The questions were great. And when you do episodes 4 and 5, make sure you write down your questions, write down your commentary, and everything else that you want to discuss. And because 4 and 5 are really, really good. So I want you guys to really have some good questions so we can really have a good open discussion on it. But other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.